Hi, Word Weavers. Taryn Suiters here. And what I'd like to do today is teach you a quick little 10-minute tutorial on how to use track changes. This is a nifty little editing tool that you can find in Word. And as far as I know, you can only find it in Word. So if you are not using a Word for your writing, the Word program, you need to do that. And the reason for that is if you're going to submit a manuscript, all of your editors and your agents, they're going to require that it have been typed on Word. So by all means, you need to do that. It is very important to learn how to use track changes, particularly because if you are hoping to be traditionally published one day, this is the tool that an editor is going to use to get whatever changes and edits they want you to make. They're going to use that to get back to you. So you need to become fluent in this. And it's not hard to do. It's very, very easy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a document here and show you how to use it. And we will get going on that. It's really simple. Okay, so what I have here is just an old manuscript of mine. And I've gone through and I've made some mistakes in it so that we can go and correct those mistakes. Now, first thing you're going to want to do is just to read through a manuscript for fun, for enjoyment. Try not to focus on the grammar or spelling errors. All right, so this is my first chapter. It's 4 pages. And so if I had sent this to my critique partner, I would send them this. And you notice I've numbered my lines because that's just easier to make those changes. And I've sent it off to my critique partner and now they've opened it up. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to review, right up here. And I'm going to click on this. And you'll notice kind of in the middle of this bar, it says track changes. Right now it's off. I'm going to toggle it till it says on. And now any change that I make is going to end up showing up here in my margin section. So let's say I read it, I did my first read through and I really liked it. I am going to start off with something positive to say. I'm going to, wherever my cursor is, that is where my comment is going to show up. So because I want her to see something positive right away, I'm going to put my cursor at the top. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit new comment. And you'll notice a box pops up over here in the margins. And I'm just going to type great, if I can spell, great start. Wow. And I'll do a little emoticon, okay? Emoticons show up just like normal texting. Now, if I hit enter, you notice all that happens is that my box gets bigger. I can't seem to get out of it, and we don't want that to happen. So let me back up here. The way you get out of this box is you take your cursor and you just click anywhere on your manuscript. And now I'm out and my comment is staying put. And let's find some corrections that we can make. Oh gosh, let's see. Actually, this is the cleaned up version. So let's just make up some. Let's pretend that this was supposed to say a latte cooks instead of books. One of the things I can do is I can come in here, I can highlight this, I come up to new comment, I click it, here's my box again, and I'm going to write books. And then remember, I don't hit enter, I just click on my manuscript. Whoops, it was books. I was supposed to correct that. Okay, this is good. Let's pretend I need to correct my correction. I come back over here and I click on it and I make my correction and I click on my manuscript. And now when I send this back to the writer, they're gonna realize, oh, I wrote books instead of cooks, and then they can fix it. The other option is that you just fix it for them. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to delete this comment. I'm going to show you the other way of doing it. So to delete a comment, you click in the comment box, you come up and you hit delete, and there goes your comment. So I'm going to just correct this right now. I highlight it and I'm going to write cooks, and you notice it changes it to red. That way when I send it back, they'll open it up and they'll immediately be drawn to that red. And they'll realize, oh, I made a mistake, and they've fixed it for me. you look over in the margin, it shows you what had happened. I deleted books. Now, I also want you to notice over here, we now have a gray line. This is how Track Changes lets you know that a change has been made. If you look on the left side of your screen, when you get your edits back, if there's a little gray dash, that means that somewhere in that line, a correction was made. Could be a comma, it could be an extra space. Sometimes we have, if I wanted to add a space, let's come down here to line 8. And I'm gonna add in an extra space. Well, if you look, that little red line can be really hard to see. And so that's why if I look over here and go, okay, somewhere in this line, I need to look for red, it kind of draws your attention to the fact, pay attention, something happened here. Now, obviously we don't need that space there, but let's say you forgot to add a space in your manuscript or in the manuscript that you're correcting, you can add in that space and they should be able to find it if they're paying attention to this side of the screen. Oh, let's find a sentence that we want to get rid of. Let's get rid of this one right here. She slouched against the counter and tossed her baseball from hand to hand. All right, line 16. Let's say as the reviewer, I don't think that should go there. I'm going to come up here and I can write, I can do new comment, consider, I can't spell today, using this elsewhere. Okay. It's a nice sentence, can't spell, nice sentence, but doesn't really fit. All right. All right, and then I click on my manuscript somewhere. And again, just like in WordWeavers, anytime your critique partner sends you something, those are just suggestions. You don't have to take them. If your editor sends something to you, you might want to think a little more strongly because they know what works best, but let's still spell doesn't right. Oh well, you guys know what I mean. All right, so that's how you make the comments. But let's say I wanted to get rid of this sentence completely. Let me delete my comment. I'm gonna come up here and delete it. And I'm gonna come over here. Now, one thing I can do is I can just hit delete and that sentence is gone. And you notice it tells you off to the side, hey, this sentence was deleted. And look over here, here's that gray line telling you, hello, pay attention, something was done to this line. Now, I'm going to undo my comment, or undo what I just did by hitting this button. And I want to show you one other way. I can go to my home screen and I can use any of these tools here that I want to. I'm going to use this one right here. I'm just going to draw a line right through it. That is another way that you can get rid of a sentence. And in that case, what happens is the sentence stays put, but now there's a line drawn through it, and it doesn't show up over here. So sometimes that's helpful because then the author doesn't have to go, oh, now what used to be there? I can't remember. And then they look over to the margin and they visually in their mind have to put the sentence back to see if they like it or not. If you use this cross out, the sentence stays there. There's just a line running through it. So it's up to you which method you prefer. Both of them, obviously, the outcome is the same. So that's all you do with Track Changes. Again, if you want to make a comment, you put your cursor on that word. You come up to review and you hit comment. If you want to just cross a line through something, you highlight it, you go to home, and you cross a line through it. And then you can just move on. And you just run through a whole manuscript doing that, making comments, making suggestions, and ending with something nice. Because when we have critique partners, it's always nice to end on a positive note. I hope that this has been helpful. When you're done critiquing something, obviously you're going to go to File. And what I do is I do File, Save As, and I save it, whatever you want to save it as. I save it to my hard drive. I'm sorry, I don't mean my hard drive. I save it to my desktop, and then I'll go into email, I'll find my critique partner, and I'll say, you know, here's your critique back. Thank you so much for letting me read it. And I attach it from my desktop, and off it goes. So that's what I like to do. If you are curious or you need more information on it, please let us know. Love to help out. This is, again, a really important skill to learn how to use. And just to reiterate, with word weavers, this is not the method that we recommend when it comes to this is not a replacement for your normal traditional group meetings. I know with COVID-19 going on, people are scrambling to find ways. This is not the way we recommend. There's Google Hangouts, there's Zoom, there's Skype, there's FaceTime. There are other ways where you can still have that face-to-face critique time, and that's super important. Anyway, if you have any questions, like I said, let me know. You can find me on my Facebook page, or you can email me. And I will hopefully be seeing my Orlando buddies soon in the next few weeks. And everyone, take care.